So, quick recording before our competition. And if you don't know, this video is for our competition, our knowledgeable against South Pasadena High School. Okay, and first topic is malware. This will be a Jeopardy styled format. Okay, so ransomware is when you encrypt the file in exchange to unencrypt them. The user has to give you money. Trojans, it's an application that pretends to be good but is malware and does and has nefarious purposes. Next one is worms, and this is associated with viruses, but the difference is viruses are you need human interaction to spread, but worms are self-replicating by itself. Potentially unwanted programs is stuff like adware, produces ads and it's potentially unwanted, as stated by its name. And we have bots. This is when a central controller compromises other computers, and then that controller um, uses uses the computers to like maybe do a DDoS attack because obviously a lot of computers can be dangerous when targeted against someone. And then we have crypto malware, which is a sophisticated type of ransomware which makes the currency untraceable. We have logic bombs, which is event driven, and there's another one called time bombs, which is time based. And basically, normally what happens is that on based on an event or based on a time, if it's time bomb, something bad will happen, or like oftentimes disgruntled employees will set this up, and when they leave the company and they want to get revenge, right? So they have this event driven or time based and deletes a bunch of files that are important. Okay, spyware, it's basically spies on you, captures all your data. Keyloggers, you basically plug in a device and that device from there captures the keystrokes that you type in, and then you can open your software, connect to that device, and you can see what is being typed. Now we have remote access Trojan, which is Trojan, but um, it's another feature which is remote. You can access the device remotely. Then we have rootkit, which is basically the malware inside the kernel, and what the kernel is essentially the operating system. So it's hard to detect because a lot of times antivirus just detects files, right? But if this is inside the kernel, it goes undetected. Backdoors when a programmer programs an application and has an access tool that's not best practices and you get to it untraditionally, which is unsecure. And also, if the employee is also upset and loses their access, they can still get to it through this backdoor that they made themselves. Password attacks, spraying. This is commonly used words to get the passwords. Dictionaries, dictionary words. Brute force is using like really strong computers, and it basically tries all the combinations. And yeah, offline attack is when you like you get your hash and you just go at it, like you can do whatever method you want. But the difference is that online is that obviously the or whatever authentication service, when you're doing it online, it can detect when you're trying to do something. So offline, I would say it's more dangerous. Then we have rainbow table, which basically it kind of you capture the hash because remember a password, or if you don't know what a hash is, basically like it's like it's like a text, but um, it's changed into like something that you can't really read, but it represents what the password is. So basically, the hash is used, right, and you get a bunch of just a rainbow table of hashes, and you can reverse engineer it to compare to get your password. Okay, and then we have plain text and unencrypted. So basically, if it's just not secure overall, then you can use something like Wireshark or like some sort of packet sniffer, and you can see the password as it's being transmitted. Now we have physical attacks. We have malicious universal serial bus, USB cable, malicious flash drive, card cloning, skimming. Um, so for malicious USB, right? It's it's I would say the first two dashes are the same thing with just different connectors, but basically what happens is that once you a funny story is that the government at one point really feared flash drives because one time some hacker came in and plugged a flash drive in and took a bunch of data. So they banned it for a moment. They brought it back, but it goes to show how dangerous this stuff can be. Card cloning is when you exploit R- RFID and you like scan the card, get all the information, and clone it. Skimming is basically when you again use RFID and get the information, but you don't card clone. Another one is social engineering. Last one topic is social engineering techniques. We have phishing, which is getting the what is it called? The user information through email. Smishing is the same thing, but through um, SMS, which is like text. Vishing is voice, same thing. Spam, self-explanatory. Spam or instant messaging, self-explanatory. Spear phishing, it's it specifically attacks certain people, like people that have power and your target of what you need, and this can be like system administrators and stuff. Um, it can also be higher, like um, some sort of like executive, but executives are safe for another one that's normally known to be that type of fishing, which is gone over on the next slide. We have dumpster diving, right? And this is pretty cool because you don't realize, but a lot of times people throw away trash. They have important data on it, right? That you probably don't want other people to see. And hackers use that, and especially at companies where they throw away important, um, like data, like they even throw away machines, right? This is why you should really destroy the machines before you throw away with them. And that's why best practices is to demolish them. And people shred their papers, burn their papers. The next one we have shoulder surfing. You just look over the shoulder, see the password being put in or some sort of sensitive information. And all the social engineering techniques basically um, is basically exploiting human weaknesses to gain like could be passwords, credentials, anything sensitive. Okay, now we have farming. It's basically using explaining DNS poisoning and redirecting people to your website. Okay, then we have tailgating, which is pretending that you work there and just follow somebody into a data center, and from there you can do so many things that are bad for the company. Eliciting information. That's the way that you present the information or present yourself to get the information out of people. Whaling is it's it's kind of like spear phishing, but you go after the chief executives. And prepending is the way where it's like typo squatting, but which I'll explain later if it's there. But it's like making use of people's mistakes when they're typing in stuff. So like example, let's say the website is Amazon.com, but you type in a Amazon.com. It's like people can accidentally type double A and they get redirected to your website, put in their credentials, and that's not good. And identity fraud, pretty self-explanatory. Invoice scams, but through call. Credential harvesting, basically mass collection of credentials. Reconnaissance, this is like prior research to know your target, so you can really present yourself as a person who they won't suspect to be taking their data. Hoax is like saying something that's there, but it's not actually there. Like there's a virus on your computer. There's no virus on your computer, right? Um, Another one is impersonation. Is pretending someone that you're not. Okay, and go to the next one. Next one is watering hole attack. This is kind of similar to farming, but not really. This is where you compromise a third party website that your targets go to often. You get their information and boom. This is kind of dangerous because let's just say like as a target, there's like nothing you can really do about it because you have all your security stuff, right? But then you just go to the website and it's their fault. It's like it's that's just tough sometimes. Okay, typo squatting, it's kind of similar to pre-pending, but you look for like commonly misspelled words. So yeah, another one is pre-texting, and this is like just explicitly lying and pretending that you're like from U.S. Bank or something, or you're the bank. I don't know, something like that, or the Department of Homeland Security or something like that. Influence campaigns, we have hybrid warfare and social media. Basically, this stuff is dangerous, and people use it to influence the people because people are strong. Okay, principles. Why are all these techniques effective? So, first one is authority, right? You make yourself out to be like a CEO or something. That hey, I am so and so, which is obviously very high ranked, and I need this. Well, if you're so and so, it's like it gives a good reason, but a lot of times it's lying, basically. It's lying in a clever way. That's what social engineering is. Okay, we have intimidation. Um, Basically, you scare the target, right? You go like, you won't get paid unless you do this. That's very reasonable. Another one is consensus, and this relies on interactions between people. So, like, for example, if let's just say, oh, Jeremy did this for me last week, and it kind of like makes you say, oh, well, Jeremy did it, then I guess I can do it then, and it's my job, or I'm allowed to. Okay, and then we have scarcity, and this is what people use in retail and stuff. It's like limited resources allowed, so like it kind of ties in with the urgency because it might run out. Okay, familiarity. You make yourself out to be someone who the target knows. Trust is exactly what it is. It's trying to gain their trust, being someone that is trustworthy. The way you talk, the way you present yourself, and urgency is probably the most common you'll see. And a lot of times, it's people use multiple, but urgency will always be a factor that people will always use. And because when you rush people, they tend to make more mistakes. So you have that urgent factor. It's higher success rate. Okay, and here's our information, and yeah, that's